Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here with podiumarcher.com, telling you I'm sorry. I've had some, not going to get into it, but I had a major life-changing event surprise me recently, and it's kind of thrown a wrench into the works of time. So we didn't have any time to make any videos in the last 3 or 4 weeks, so I apologize for that delay and attempt to assure you that it will not happen again. But we're back and better than ever and ready to roll, so we're going to talk about some of the 4mm arrows, starting with the Axis Long Range Match Grade. So let's go over here and grab some. Let's take a look here. 300 spine. All these down there are 300s on this row, so should be right. Yep. Let's go see how good these are. All right, first things first, let me get my cheat sheet here. That's the correct one. For the series of 4mm, we're going to talk about a couple different options as far as in order to achieve that 15% F.O.C. that we really strongly recommend people use, and no aluminum hardware in the front of the arrow, because aluminum in the front of your arrow is a bad place for it to be. You don't want it there. We're going to carry over one particular adapter into all of the arrows, regardless of Easton or not, because Easton does make a titanium half out, which nobody else does as far as I know. And according to all the research that we've found and all the people that we've talked to, you can't bend it. And the biggest failure problem with all 4mm arrows is a bending problem with the adapter, because so much of the tip sticks out of the arrow and is in the adapter. So we are going to correspond the use of that titanium half out in all of these arrows, even though it's an Easton product, but it will fit all of them. So be aware we are going to offer that as an option. However, we are looking at a 4mm 300 spine, which is 9.3 grains an inch, and we did the math for you to come up with a 15% F.O.C. setup, and we gave you two options. One, they make a steel 95 grain adapter. It comes with a 50 grain aluminum that I would not recommend using just because it's pure aluminum, but they make a 95 grain steel and with a 100 grain tip on a 28-inch arrow with 3 7 grain per inch vanes, which would be a stealth flex. It will weigh 485.4 grains, and it's just over 15% F.O.C. Now, if you choose to use the titanium adapter, which is way more expensive, it's like double, but supposedly you can't bend them, and that's the failure point in most of these arrows. That with a 125 grain tip will weigh out at 470.4 and also get you right at that. It's like 14.7 or something like that percent F.O.C. on that arrow. It's one of the lighter GPI 4mm arrows out there. It's not the lightest, but it's a pretty good weight, and I think we're going to come up with some really good straightness. But let's find out what the weight tolerance looks like and what the straightness looks like. So it's just a random batch, no special treatment or nothing. Let's see how straight they look. That one's good. Really straight. This is coinciding the last Axis that we checked that were just really incredibly straight. Yeah, there. I spoke too soon. That front end's a little wobbly. That's not good. That one's straight. That's glass. Glass, just perfectly glossy, no variation. That's really straight. And that front end's got a tiny bit of wobble. Knock end's still straight, but that's a little bit. Ooh, just glass. Now, so far, I'm going to say another thing that is probably going to screw us up. There hasn't been a knock end that's been not perfectly straight. So if your point end's a little crooked, it's not the end of the world, because you're probably cutting off 3 or 4 inches of that anyway. Now, I will point out that whenever you're checking these for straightness, you do not want to be on the label. And if you'll notice, I'm putting it right there in between the two label things. If you're on the label, it can create a little variance as well. So just emphasizing that I'm not scrolling this across the label. Man, There might be a little more than 1,000 in that, maybe, but it's real minimal. These are really pretty straight. Yeah, that's class. Okay, so that is out of 12 arrows, we had 10 that I would consider perfect and 2 that are slightly imperfect, but keep in mind both of them are on the point end. Now, I don't know if that's something that they're actually checking, and when they find ones that aren't perfectly spec'd but still kind of get there, if they deliberately knock and wrap the right end to where you're cutting it off. But over a 28-inch span, those would probably still be within 1 thou, which is typically how they're measuring that. So, but regardless, we got 10 out of 12 that are perfectly straight. Let's see how close they are in weight. Get my little scratch pad here out so we can keep track. Dude, there we go. $312.5. $312.5. $311.9. $311.3. $311.9. $312.0. $311.9. $312.4. $311.9. $312.0. Okay, so worst to best. Oh, sorry. Thanks, bud. 312.4. 312.0. So worst to best, we only had one that would give you more than a half a grain plus or minus at 311.3, but without that one, everything is within a half a grain plus or minus, which is what a matched bundle should be, and those came out of a matched bundle. So I'd give them close to an A+ on that one. That's real close. That's really good tolerances. Just so you know, let me get close up of this. So, like I said, these titanium inserts are pretty awesome, but you're going to pay for them. These are $45 a 6, so you're talking $90 a dozen. But that right there will go in any 1/66 internal diameter arrow, which is a 4mm. So whether it's a gold tip, an Easton, a Black Eagle, Victory, these will go in all of them. And this is a part that Easton makes that will fit everybody's. And because it's not collared, the outside diameter of the arrow is not going to matter. And that collar is to help avoid a breakage because this bent. Well, if these don't bend, you really don't need the collar. So this is a really impressive part. Keep in mind for that on those. But just so you know, those are on the website and they are $44.95 a half a dozen. So super expensive. The Axis Long Range are also on the website and ready to go. That's for a 4mm. That's pretty impressive. It's our first one. So we'll go through every one that we carry and cover the specs of them. Hopefully you find this informative and helpful. Very impressive product for what it is. And with this piece in it, I'm a little less fearful of the long-term durability of the product. Head on over to the website and check these things out along with anything else that you're looking for. Comment down below for items that you're looking for or videos that you're looking for that we're not providing. Make sure to head on over to the Instagram. You'll start to see a lot more going on over there. Every time we get a new product in stock, or we're out of stock of something and it's restocked on the website, I will post it on Instagram first. So if you are looking for something or trying to catch something that we normally stock that we're out of, that's where you want to follow along at. And I do try to answer the Instagram comments. If it's been the last couple of weeks and I haven't, I'm sorry. Like I said before, some major life-changing events that kind of consume my time, and I didn't have any for you guys. But I'm back and I'm coming at you bigger and stronger than ever, and you're going to see more, I promise. Like, subscribe, smash those buttons. Keep coming back. Let me know what you think.